both teams had their moments. They had their chances. But this is ultimately Ivory Coast sealing the deal and getting a monumental, and I'm going to say the word historic victory here. What Ivory Coast just did is generational for them. This is a team that's been building for years now, great talent, and what we saw on display was an incredible showing of that talent. Diomande, oh my God, what a performance. Ahmad coming in the second half, Singo in that back line, guiding his team. Great defense mixed in with great physicality, athleticism, and just honestly technical skill. This is a bit of everything for Ivory Coast. I'm glad they got the victory. They end up winning and defeating Ecuador 1-0 in a very emotional match.
Yeah, Ecuador, on the other hand, played a good match. I think they sized up to Ivory Coast very well. Their best moments were in that first half, hit the post several times. Valencia had a huge chance early in the match that he just skied over the post. But ultimately, I thought Ivory Coast, man, I mean, they just had more offensive threat over the 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think you got to really credit that. Jan Diomande, as you already said, I mean, had a 10 out of 10 performance, essentially. If he could have gotten a goal assist, that would have capped it. But cooked Piero Hincapié four separate times in that first half. And then on the left side, in the second half, cooked Alan Franco several times. Just one of the best winger performances we've seen at the World Cup. This was exceptional offensive play from Ivory Coast, and they ultimately deserved this win, I think, because of their efforts here.
Yeah, I agree. And I see comments in the chat about how this was a genuinely exciting match, but also now, how does Ivory Coast match up against Germany? I would love to find that out, bro. I really want to see. I want to see how they can match up if Germany takes it to them and exposes this Ivory Coast team, or if Ivory Coast has now reached a level where they can go up against not the second best team in CONMEBOL and beat them like we saw today, but against one of Europe's top best talents and see them eye to eye, head to head. I mean, yeah, I really do think this is a golden era, a golden generation for Ivory Coast, and it's only getting started. This is a tone-setting type of result. Had it tied, I think both teams would have left feeling okay about themselves, but like, man, we're missing something. Ivory Coast getting the victory here, I think, does a huge thing mentally for them. Gives them that extra ounce of optimism and belief that, hey, this might be our special run. We're labeled dark horses. Let's live up to that potential. And let's go at Germany and get potentially first place in this group, or at the very least now, second place looks very realistic. I want to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think. This to me is probably one of my more favorite matches at the tournament so far. Because Ecuador did have their chances. They did three times hitting the post. Yeah. Two of those I would consider real opportunities that should have been goals. I don't want to discount any of Ecuador's effort here because that first half from them truly was very threatening. I just wish you could have gotten it for the full 90, but I think the team tired out and was ultimately reliant on what is their world-class defense, pulling them a result in this game. Ivory Coast's offense was just too good, eventually finding the opportunity.
Yeah, Ecuador's game plan is to finish their few chances that they craft and then defend. They did neither ultimately on the day. They did not finish the chances that they created, and they were genuine. They should have finished them. And if you have one of the best defenses in the world, you cannot concede, especially in the 90th minute. You already did the hard work. You got to lock in, see out the clean sheet. It's what you're designed to do, and they broke.
I like this comment from Boom Chicken. This is my favorite game of the World Cup so far. Successful hate watch. Ecuador is overrated as hell. Folks, we're clipping this up, putting it on our main channel. So a lot of people that see this might not be part of our live streams. We do live streams for at least one game a day, watch alongs. If you want to join us and be part of the community and say things like what Boom Chicken is saying down below, just keep an eye out on our channel for our watch alongs and join us, talk to us. Let's talk some footy.
Hey, good game, Boom Chicken. Hey, good game.
He got you today, bro.
Good game, man.
Boom Chicken got you today.
Hey, it's 1-1. I got one. Boom Chicken's got one.
Demibur Circus says Ivory Coast can definitely score a few against Germany. The German team doesn't have a good defense, as good a defense as Ecuador. Ivory can definitely beat Germany or draw them. I need to see it. I need to see it, man.
Well, Ramiro Murguia saying in the chat, he is calling it now. Ivory Coast are the Morocco of 2026. He thinks they're going to make a deep run. If they can prove it in that match.
I think so.
Ivory Coast, Germany will be the definer if Ivory Coast are dark horses this tournament.
Every tournament, there's a team, multiple teams that just kind of capture your energy, capture your heart. And I say this individually for every person. Some teams just resonate more with you. For some reason, this Ivory Coast team, I'm really connecting to. After that first half performance and rooting for Diamond. It's just so easy. Like, oh my God, what a setup that they have. Very interested to see if Ahmad starts the next game. It's a little weird that he came off the bench. I mean, this is the guy that scored the game-winning goal.
Yeah.
He looked great. But I would hope that he starts because, I mean, the full 90 from Ahmad, I think, is much better than 45. I don't think he's set for a super sub type of role here.
Yeah, I think Ahmad's got to start.
He's got to start.
He's too good. That finish was ridiculous.
Yeah.
All things considered. And he was just better, simply put, than Wahi, for example, who started. But Ange Boni was incredible off the bench. His hold-up play was fantastic. I want to talk about Ecuador a little bit, though, because if we're calling Ivory Coast's potential dark horses, what are we going to call Ecuador here, whose plan ultimately completely failed? I already said they're designed to get clean sheets. They didn't do it. And they're designed to finish their few chances that they created. They did create their chances, but didn't finish it. If you know you are a defense-first team, you have to be clinical. And they weren't. Mm-mm. Ivory Coast don't have to be clinical because they create more chances. And ultimately, Ivory Coast's plan to be offensive worked at the end of the day. I think what this result shows me is that, okay, if Ecuador can't keep a clean sheet against a good Ivory Coast side, then they're not going to do it against Germany. They're not going to do it against Portugals, the Colombias, the Englands, the Frances. They're not going to be able to do it. So I think Ecuador, this is very disappointing to not get a result here. With 0 points to start, you'll probably go through because you have Curaçao in this group.
They'll go through.
But this is very disappointing for Ecuador, who were considered to be the second best team in South America.
Right. I mean, that's the thing about the opening games for each team is that you go into a tournament with a certain type of energy, expectation, belief of what could happen if things go right. And this result ultimately does dampen those emotions a bit. I agree. But then we also have to have perspective. It's not over. I do think this team does get out of the group stage because there's Curaçao in this group. Let's hope that Ecuador can be clinical in that game and score the goals needed to go through in third place. But bringing up the point of, can they go and take it in the round of 32 if they get a bad matchup now as a third place team, or in a round of 16 if they make it that far? Can they overcome that obstacle that they always seem to kind of falter against, which is going up against an elite side in either Europe or Africa or maybe even a Mexico, USA? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a game of inches here, bro. They hit the post multiple times.
They did.
I think I'm going to take Ecuador just on a game-by-game basis. I think they're so reliant on those few inches to go their way. They could defeat a Portugal. They could if
I don't think so anymore.
They
That's
could,
my problem.
man. I think they could.
I don't think they could. I think this game showed me that, especially in the second half, they completely ran out of ideas and they just had to rely on their defense. I think it works in CONMEBOL. I think seeing it here against Ivory Coast, I don't think it's going to work at the World Cup level.
But I think they could because I'm seeing Ivory Coast as that good. I'm seeing them as that good.
Yeah, but if Ivory Coast is that good, there's so many other teams that are also that good. This is a stacked.
But we don't know
bro.
yet, right? Because we got to see Ivory Coast finally on this stage. I think a lot of teams, like a basic example, Switzerland isn't playing up to that level that we thought they could. Will Portugal actually do that? We need to see. But I think if this is the product we're getting from Ivory Coast, this is an 8, 9 out of 10 that can only get better, honestly, from what I'm seeing. I rate this team very highly after what I just saw. And Ecuador was very close to getting a 0-0 draw. It was one opening that Ivory Coast was able to find. I guess I don't want to be pessimistic with Ecuador yet, but there is a very strong reality that I eventually reached that by the round of 32. Yeah. Yeah.
I just think if your priorities defend and you concede, then your whole A plan is dead. And we saw in the second half Ecuador create nothing. That's just not going to cut it in a round of 32 matchup. That's why I'm a little bit more doom and gloom about Ecuador, because if you boast a defense that only conceded 5 goals over 18 matches, you cannot concede in this match. You just can't.
Absolutely, yeah. But they were so close to scoring in the first half. It's not like they had half chances the whole game. They had very clear-cut opportunities that could have gone their way if the wind was just a little stronger. And that's why I'm just like, the plan could have worked today.
Mm-hmm. I guess what I'm pointing out is their plan has thin margins.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and that absolutely will crack early in a tournament like this. I'm really trying to point out that Ecuador going into this tournament was rated very highly. I think their plan works, but their margins are so thin that I just think it can crack easy.
Right.
I think it cracks.
Let me know, guys. I want to know y'all's thoughts in the comment section down below. How do you feel about Ecuador after this game? The same, worse, better? What are your thoughts? Did this team go deep? Are they still a dark horse to you? What do you think? All I know for certain, is that Ivory Coast, start dreaming. I absolutely love what I saw from them. Very likable team. The coach so involved, so passionate, and they just took it to second place in Conmebol and won. Got full 3 points with incredible performances all across the pitch, and it was deserved more than anything. It wasn't luck to defeat Ecuador like this. Amazing, man. Amazing. Let me read some comments here. Demi says, Ivory Coast literally beat a stacked France team in friendlies 2-1. They are that good. I agree. Yeah. Although that is a friendly, but I agree. I think they have the potential to be Morocco of this year, which is a top 4 side in the world. So that is true. Ivory Coast is coming in very, very good. Ramiro says, this Ivory Coast team is so young too. The nerves are probably high. This team only gets better. I agree with that as well. Ghana going to do something, says Captain Crunch.
Ghana? Sheesh, man. I hope, for your sake, I hope.
Ecuador need Campana that played with Messi at Miami few seasons back, says Mr. Happy. Boom Chicken, here we go. Ecuador has always been overrated. I have them getting bounced round of 16. This result just made that more likely. Beautiful Sunday night. Let's go. True Ecuador hate watch. I mean, I'm surprised you think round of 16. If I were you, Boom Chicken, I'd be saying round of 32.
Yeah.
Round of 16 is ultimately a success. I mean,
what's interesting is Demi Berserker has a good point here. Ecuador is probably not going to beat Germany if they play like this. So if they can't get a draw there, then at most they would finish with 3 points. They have to pray that they can score a lot against Curaçao.
And
which they should.
And try not to lose by Germany by a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
They should be able to stack up the goals against Curaçao, but Ecuador in a desperate moment, who knows?
Who knows, man? Yeah. Who knows? Things are getting scary for Ecuador. Folks, this has been the Ecuador versus Ivory Coast watch along. Had a lot of fun watching it with all you guys. Please give us a like on your way out.